Hello there adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today we're going to do another character creation video using Xanathar's Lost Notes to everything else. Now this is not an official 5th edition product, so make sure you ask your DM before you use any of the character classes or the options found in Xanathar's Lost Notes. With that being said, there's really no reason not to use the book. It's well put together, and today we're going to create a character that is a little bit out of the norm because we're going to create a wizard. But what does this wizard do? He hunts other evil wizards. Today we're going to create a mage hunter. So let's introduce Kwalu through a backstory, and this is kind of what I have imagined. The tribe that Kwalu is in, this Chult tribe, is full of hunters, and the preferred weapon of this Chult tribe is the Yikawa, and the Yikawa is kind of like a not as sturdy spear. You can throw it, but it doesn't go as far. It's kind of just an awkward spear, but it's a weapon unique to the tribes of Chult. And rather than using this weapon, Kwalu would use daggers. That was his preferred hunting weapon of choice. And in fact, Kwalu was known as one of the most dexterous and intelligent members of the tribe. Well, as fate would have it, there was a party, some outsiders, and amongst the party was an evil wizard. Of course, it's always the evil wizard, you know. But this evil wizard was a necromancer and had already raised 2 zombies. And the tribe recognized 2 of those zombies as missing in action soldiers. So they confronted the wizard and the rest of the party, and a fight ensued. And of course the fight was taking place just outside of the tribe, and this evil wizard and a few of his party members, the wizard cast Fireball, and it burnt up a section of the forest and part of the homes of Kwalu's tribe. Now most tribes of Chult are against magic, but they do have 1 or 2 members for each tribe that practice magic and arcane sorcery and arcane wizardry. And the reason they do this is to hunt down evil wizards, those that are bloodlust and necromancer and looking to do bad or evil things with arcane magic, and they hunt them down. So in this big battle that Kwalu was a part of, the mage hunter was one of them that ended up being killed in the battle. And so a big meeting of all the tribe members the next day, they needed to replace their mage hunter, and they turned to Kwalu because he is one of the most intelligent of the clan, and they looked to him to fill the role as mage hunter, become a wizard, and hunt down evil wizards. In particular, the evil wizard that cast Fireball and destroyed part of their village. So if I were to play Kwalu in a game, I would introduce him as he is looking for a particular wizard, but along the way he has found it that it's his duty to his clan and his tribe to eliminate and hunt down any evil wizards or necromancers. So let's build our mage hunter. So the way that I think I should build Kwalu is I want him to be stealthy. So I want this character to be able to spy and to sneak up and surprise his targets and the evil wizards that he's hunting, and of course with other prey or other monsters or opponents that he faces. He's going to have this stealth ability to sneak up and get that dagger thrown in right away. As far as his spell selection goes, I want his spells to provide assistance in combat, offensive and defensive, and I also want to include spells that are going to protect him from other spellcasters. So with all this in mind, I think that it's best that we multi-class Kwalu. Now, of course, I'm building a mage hunter from Xanathar's Lost Notes, so I want to stay mainly with that theme, but I do want to take 1 extra level in a different class. And the way that I'm going to do this is I feel that in Kwalu's very first gaming session, it could be around the tribes of Chult, and his level 1 will be a level in Rogue. And I pick Rogue for 2 reasons. The first reason being that we get sneak attack, and since part of this character, what I want him to do is to be able to sneak up on his targets and get that dagger thrown in, why not get some sneak attack damage too if we can get advantage. And the second reason is because a level 1 rogue can also double the proficiency on 2 skills, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So we're going to go rogue level 1, and then after rogue level 1, that's when the clan has decided, Kwalu, you're going to be our mage hunter, you're going to become a wizard, here's your spell book, congratulations, you've graduated, you're a wizard now. And we're going to take him in this video probably to wizard level 6. So here we go. Right now, rogue level 1, wizard 0. And for our race, of course, that is going to be a variant human. And we're even going to go as far as to make sure that he is Chultan. As far as alignment, I'm going to put him as neutral. And for a background, I believe that an Outlander / hunter fills in very nicely with the kind of character I want to build. And with a human, we're going to take the standard array of ability scores, and I have them filled in over here. And we're going to take our 2 +1 points that we get for being a human, and we're going to apply that to Constitution, bringing that up to 14 so we can get +2 hit points every level we gain. And of course, we're going to take that 15 and we're going to have a 16 intelligent because he is going to be a wizard. Now, I've already planned this out in advance, but for the extra skill that we get for being a human, I'm going to pick Arcana. And with Arcana being intelligence based, we're going to start off right away with a +5. And our final thing that we get with being a variant human is we get to pick 1 feat at level 1. And this is very easy because in the player's handbook, we have a Mage Slayer feat. And I'll go ahead and fill that in now. So our Mage Slayer feat gives us quite a few interesting things that really fit Kwalu and the build that I'm looking to do. The first part of it, when a creature within 5 feet casts a spell, we can use our reaction to make a melee weapon attack against a creature. So that's really cool. When you damage a creature that is concentrating on a spell, that creature has disadvantage on saves to maintain concentration. So we can throw our dagger and hit a wizard that's concentrating on a spell, and if we damage them, they've got to make a save to keep concentration at disadvantage. I think that's really, really nice. And the third part of our Mage Slayer feat is advantage on saves versus spells cast by creatures within 5 feet of us. So really nice and really fits the theme that I'm looking for with my Mage Hunt. Now, by picking the Outlander background, we do get a couple more skills. We get Athletics, which is strength based, so that'll be with our proficiency a +3. And we also get Survival, which makes a lot of sense for our character, things that he's from the island of Chult. But our wisdom is not very good, so we have a total of +2, which is just our proficiency bonus for survival. Now for languages, we get an extra 1 for being human, and we get an extra 1 from our Outlander background. Now, of course, Kwalu is going to speak Common, but I would probably talk to my Dungeon Master about allowing me 1 extra language, and that would be Chultan. Seeing that the Chultan, the tribes of Chult do have their own language, so I would imagine that just about everybody on the island would speak Common and Chultan. So I'm going to say that my Dungeon Master allowed me the Chultan language in addition. So my other 2 languages, I'm going to go with Draconic, because I do believe that the Chultan language might be in the Draconic script, so it would make a little bit of sense that Kwalu would know Draconic, plus there are lizard folk on the island, so it would kind of make sense for him to know Draconic. And the other one, I believe there's some goblins on Chult, so we'll just pick Goblin. Just a couple other languages that Kwalu might have picked up in his adventures in Chult. Now, as far as the musical instrument I get to pick for being an Outlander background, I think the pan flute would be really cool. And I'm thinking, you know, like the pan flute bands on South Park and stuff like that. So just a really upbeat, kind of just a tribal sound, and we'll use the pan flute. And he'll pull that out every once in a while and play it, and he's probably really good at it. Now, I have filled out his traits already, so let's go ahead and fill these in. No stock in wealthy or well-mannered folk. So he doesn't really trust those that come from people that come from foreign lands or things like that, especially those that are very wealthy, very well dressed, very well mannered. He kind of has a distrust of them because everyone that has come to the island before has either treated his people rudely or wrongly, and he has just not met the right groups of folk to make him trust anyone. So he has no stock in wealthy or well-mannered folk. As far as ideals, so for his ideals, I picked honor. If I dishonor myself, I dishonor my clan. So he never wanted to be the wizard of his tribe. He didn't want to be the mage hunter, but they turned to him, and he does not want to dishonor his clan. He doesn't want to dishonor himself, so he accepts this. And if he were to do anything less than honorable, it would crush him, and he would feel that he let down his entire tribe, and he would seek redemption and try to make up for what he has done. For bonds, bring terrible wrath down on evildoers who destroy his homeland. And just like in the backstory that I provided just a little bit ago, his tribe tangled with a group of outsiders, and now he is hell-bent and determined to find these party members, and specifically this wizard that casted that fireball and was raising the dead. And he's just got this vision of just destroying them, bringing down this wrath, and finally bringing peace to what happened to his tribe. And this final part of his personality I think really fits, and that's the flaw. And I have chosen slow to trust members of other races, tribes, and societies. And this isn't just about the main event that made Kwalu become a mage hunter, the battle with the evil wizard and the other party members there, but this may just stretch through all of Kwalu's life, and maybe stories passed down by other members of the tribe. I would probably say maybe a lot of outsiders looked down upon members of Chultan tribes such as Kwalu's, or treated them rudely, or there's stories of other things that just builds a huge distrust to anyone outside of the tribe. And this would be great to roleplay with a adventuring party, as Kwalu would just join them and maybe needs their help to find a wizard, or they need Kwalu's help, and he just doesn't have the trust yet. Sleeps with one eye open, maybe questions a few of their motives and things like that, where deep down inside Kwalu is a caring person and things like that, and would do anything for his tribe members. But when it comes to outsiders and people he just met, he just doesn't trust them. Okay, so let's build Rogue level 1, and we're going to start off with our current hit points, and a Rogue rolls a 1d8 with our Constitution bonus. We're going to have 10 hit points, which is pretty good for who's soon going to be a wizard. Our Rogue is available to wear light armor, and we're going to choose leather armor, which will give Kwalu an armor class of 11. And with his dexterity of 14, that's actually a +2. I'll get that fixed over there. +2 on the dex, and that will give Kwalu an armor class of 13. Now, being a first level rogue, Kwalu is also going to be proficient in Thieves' Tools, so I've noted that right down there. We've got Thieves' Tools, and also proficient with simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. And from the backstory, as I said before, we're going to have daggers. And Kwalu is also going to carry a yikawa. And again, that is the weapon of his people. So most of the times I'm kind of picturing Kwalu with a dagger in each hand, or at least one in his hand if he's going to need the other hand to cast a spell. And maybe he has the Yikawa over his back and brings that out on special occasions, or maybe brings it out and tells stories about it, or is passed down by someone in his tribe to him and it means something to him. But for the most part, we're going to have 2 daggers and the Yikawa. So the way that I'm seeing Kwalu, and if I understand the player's handbook correctly, he can hold a dagger in both hands because the dagger is a light weapon. He can also throw the daggers because the daggers are a thrown weapon. And he can also use his dexterity bonus instead of strength because it's a finesse weapon. So let's go ahead and fill these in. So dagger number 1 would get a +4 attack bonus, and damage would be 1d4 plus 2. So our second dagger would get a +4 on the attack bonus, and since it would be using a bonus action to attack with it, it would only get 1d4 damage and would not get the +2 from the dexterity. Now the Yikawa I have looked up online. It is not in the player's handbook, and it does use strength, so we would get a +1 attack bonus if we use the Yikawa, and it is 1d8 plus 1, and I believe that is piercing damage. So all of our weapons are piercing damage. So rounding out our rogue, we have proficiency in dexterity and intelligence. So we get our +2, so this would be +4 for dex saves and +5 for intelligence saves. We also get to choose 4 skills being a rogue. So I'm going to go with the acrobatics because it's dexterity based, and I believe that Kwalu will be quite agile moving about. So we get a +4 if we do that. I'd like to choose investigation. That would give us a +5. That's intelligence based, and I think that would come in pretty handy. And of course stealth, that's going to be one of our main ones that Kwalu uses to sneak up on his targets. So that will be a +4. And how about we do, let's do sleight of hand. We'll kind of do that. So maybe if Kwalu is in an environment and he doesn't want to see someone draw his dagger to attack or something, we can do a sleight of hand check. So we'll do a +4 on that. Now here's one of the reasons that I use rogue, because we get at first level rogue the skill expertise, and with expertise we get to choose 2 of our skills or 1 skill and thieves tools, and when we make a check using that skill we get to double our proficiency bonus. So our proficiency bonus at level 1 is +2, and again I see Kwalu as being a mage hunter that wants to use stealth and wants to sneak up on people. So I'm going to use stealth as one of the skills I pick. So instead of +4, Kwalu at level 1 will have a +6 to stealth. And I really had a tough time figuring out the other one, but I settled on acrobatics. Again, I think I'm going to use Kwalu as the kind that jumps and dives and does somersaults and all this cool stuff to get in position and things like that. So we're going to double our proficiency bonus on acrobatics checks, and that will also be a +6. So Kwalu is very dexterous with and very stealthy, so he's really turning out how I had pictured him. And then finally, as a rogue, we get sneak attack, and this is one of the reasons that I picked the rogue, is because I really like this idea for using with our Mage Hunter Wizard. Okay, so this is what I'm absolutely loving about Kwalu as a character, using this first level rogue to get sneak attack. Now sneak attack is a d6 of extra damage if we have advantage on an attack roll with a finesse or ranged weapon, or if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet. So if we have a tank in the party, like a barbarian or paladin or a fighter that goes in as in melee combat, then we can sneak up behind the target and get an attack in, or throw a dagger, or melee combat ourselves, get in there and stab with a dagger, and we'll get that d6 of extra damage for sneak attack. So really groovy, and I dig it. Okay, so Kwalu is a level 1 rogue, but has now been elected to become the tribe's mage hunter. He is going to become a wizard. So we are now going to be a rogue level 1, wizard level 1. And now let's advance Kwalu to our 2 hit dice character with a level 1 in rogue and wizard. Now, looking at the multi-classing rules in the player's handbook, becoming a wizard does not give us any proficiencies, so we're going to skip right over that. Now, as far as hit points go, a wizard, and I'll note this down in the hit dice, is a 1d6 for hit points. So we have a total of 2, we have a 1d6, and for actual hit points, we're going to take the 4 plus our constitution modifier of 2, that'd be 6. And so now our current hit points for Kwalu are 16. So our first skill as a wizard is Arcane Recovery, and that is the ability to regain some spell slots after a short rest, and that is equal to half our wizard level. So as a level 1 wizard, after a short rest, we can regain 1 first level spell slot. Of course, as a first level wizard, the only other thing that we acquire is the ability to cast spells. So I am now on our spell casting sheet, and let's fill in a few of these. We'll start with our spell save DC, which is 8, plus our proficiency bonus, which would be 10. Our intelligence modifier is plus 3, so we have a spell DC of 13. If we pick spells that need an attack modifier, it is also a plus 5, so plus 5 on that. And our spell casting ability is intelligence. As a first level wizard, we get 3 cantrips, and the 3 cantrips that I have chosen is Firebolt, and that just seems like a tribe member of Chult would know a little thing or two about fire. So Firebolt comes very natural to Kwalu. The second spell that I have chosen is Light, because Kwalu is a human. He does not have dark vision, so light will help him out. He can cast it on his dagger so he can be able to see, and maybe this is a little bit of the good side of Kwalu, being able to cast light into the darkness, a little bit of a metaphor as far as taking this cantrip. And the third cantrip I have chosen is Minor Illusion. And I envision Kwalu using Minor Illusion to distract his target or distract his enemy. So another way for him to be stealthy. So apply a Minor Illusion while they're distracted, using a stealth check to go around and sneak behind them. So let's take a look at some of the first level spells I've chosen. And as we do this, I'm going to put in this slot expanded spot right here, I'm going to put 4, and that 4 represents the number of spells that Kwalu can have prepared. So with a intelligence modifier of plus 3 plus his wizard level of plus 1, he can have 4 spells prepared each day after a long rest. So the spells I've chosen for first level for Kwalu to be in his spellbook, of course you can't go wrong with Magic Missile. It strikes, it doesn't miss, and it just seems like someone that's hunting down other wizards would have this in their spellbook and being able to hit without having to worry about missing. So Magic Missile, a definite for Kwalu. Detect Magic, we are hunting down evil wizards and abusers of the arcane. So Detect Magic seems like a natural way of hunting down a target. The next one I chose was Alarm, and this one just seemed really cool. So when Kwalu's in an area where he's setting up camp, he can rig an area or a door or a window or something, because he's a little bit paranoid about being out in the world and everything, or maybe he feels that the enemy is close and doesn't want to be snuck up upon himself. So he sets this alarm, and if a creature enters that area, it'll either be a mental alarm that goes off in Kwalu's head or loud enough for everybody to hear. So kind of a defensive spell to help protect Kwalu and when him or his party set up camp. So Absorb Elements is one of my favorite spells of the Arcane that you can find in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And what it does is a reaction that Kwalu can take. So if he's hit with fire or cold or acid or thunder or something like that, he gains resistance to it until the start of his next turn. And not only that, but some of that energy will channel into his weapon, and the next time he hits with one of his daggers, he also gets to do a 1d6 of whatever element that was absorbed by the absorb element spell. So if he's hit with a firebolt, then he gains resistance to that firebolt by casting this spell, and then on Kwalu's next turn he throws his dagger and hits someone, and he gets that extra d6 of fire damage, or like I said, whatever element that he was hit with before when he casted the spell. Now, as a mage hunter going up against other arcane spellcasters, shield is an absolute include. Now, casting shield gives a temporary bonus to armor class of +5. So Kwalu is a 13, and that would make his armor class 18 against melee attacks. But the best part about it, when Kwalu's going up against other spellcasters, is it makes him immune to magic missile for the duration of the spell. And this is a reaction, so if he's in battle with another magic user and they cast magic missile at him, he reacts by casting shield, takes no damage from the magic missile. So an absolute must for Kwalu to battle the evildoer spellcasters. Now, the final spell in Kwalu's spellbook is Find Familiar, and I think this one really just drives home the point that Kwalu is pretty much from another world. He's from the island of Chult, and a lot of wilderness and things of that nature. He's an outlander. He's not used to civilization and stuff. So what better way to cope with things than with a pet spider? And how about a tarantula? So Kwalu is going to have this pet tarantula, which will be his familiar. And not only will it keep him company, but the tarantula, he can have it climb walls and maybe go around the corner to the next room, slide through cracks or whatever, and kind of have it spy on people. So he can kind of get the drop on them and, be stealth and, let the spider out, and it, crawls over and up the wall and through the eyes and the hearing of the spider, Kwalu can gather information. So this one feels to me like it's going to be a ton of fun to play. And it's just going to be one of the tools in Kwalu's spy kit when he's out hunting mages. So now it's time to make Kwalu a 2nd level wizard. So now he is a 3 hit die character. He's a wizard level 2. He gets to add another 6 hit points. So that takes him to 22. He now has a total of 3 hit die. That's 1d8 for his rogue. And he has 2d6 hit die for now being a wizard. And as a 2nd level wizard, he gets to pick his arcane tradition. And this is going to be the Mage Hunter. So we are finally getting into the book, Xanathar's Lost Notes to Everything Else. And this is where the Mage Hunter is at. And we are on page 38 of that book. And one of the abilities, which is kind of irrelevant, seems that we're already a rogue level 1, but as an Arcane Investigator, of course this would be really good if you're just building a Mage Hunter from scratch and not multiclassing. But Arcane Investigator gives them proficiency with light armor and a single melee weapon. Now, of course, we've already taken care of that with the rogue, but again, if you're not multiclassing, this is a very good pickup at level 2. And if I were building this without making it a rogue, my weapon, my simple melee weapon that I would choose would probably be the Yikilwa, which is the chosen weapon of the members of Chult. But we do also get proficiency in perception. So we're going to come over here to our skills. And perception is wisdom based. We don't get a modifier, but now we get to use our proficiency bonus of +2. So now we have a ton of skills that we can use as Kwalu, and getting perception is always a good thing. But that's not it. As a Mage Hunter level 2, we also get the ability called Counterweave. And here we go. We're going to dive into some more Mage Hunter abilities. These are really cool. Check this out. Okay, so this is what's really cool about being a Mage Hunter. This is an ability we get a second level wizard called a Counterweave. And what a Counterweave is a bonus action. We use it as a bonus action, and we put this on a magical threat that we identify: a sorcerer, warlock, a goblin mage, things of that nature. But a magical, someone that's casting spells and stuff like that. And we use a bonus action to do this. The target does not get a saving throw. They need to be within 30 feet of us, and this will last for 1 minute. No save, which is awesome. So let's say that Kwalu comes in contact with a sorcerer, identifies him as a magical threat, uses a bonus action to put Counterweave on him. These are the abilities that happen when a threat or the opponent has been counterweaved. Kwalu, or the character that we're playing, gets a bonus to saving throws against spells by that creature equal to our intelligence modifier. So if it's a sorcerer and he casts Fireball and he has this counterweave on him, then Kwalu is going to add a +3 bonus, his intelligence modifier, to his dexterity saving throw against that Fireball. So that's really cool. Double ability modifier to survival checks to track, quarry, or recall information about a target. So if Kwalu was at a bar one night and got some information on this mage that he's trying to track down, and as a player I need to recall that information later, then Kwalu will be able to add to that survival check. So that is really good as far as tracking and recalling information. Very important when we're out mage hunting. Range of targets cantrips are reduced by 10 feet. Fantastic. What's the range of that spell? They're trying to stay just out of range. They just got 10 feet shorter. That's fantastic. And then the final one, targets Constitution saves for concentration on a spell are reduced by our intelligence modifier. So as Kwalu, I'm trying to chuck these daggers at a target. So if there is a warlock or whoever, and they're concentrating on a spell, and Kwalu hits them with the dagger, causing damage, and they need to make a concentration check using doing a con save, that roll to make that saving throw is reduced by another 3 points, because that's our intelligence modifier. So another -3 on that roll, which is just awesome. So interrupting their spells makes the Mage Hunter just super powerful. The best thing about this is the Counterweave can be used twice, and we get those 2 back after we finish a long or a short rest. So very powerful magic here for the Mage Hunter. Okay, as a second level wizard, we're going to finish off our leveling up. We get to add 2 more spells that we can cast to our spellbook. So those will be first level spells, and that will bring us up to 3 spell slots. And we can memorize 4 spells each day. So the 2 that I have chosen to add to Kwalu's spellbook are Sleep, and Sleep it's kind of a no-brainer. If he's able to cast Sleep, especially if it's a lower level mage, that should end the battle right there. So Sleep's always a good one at the lower levels for a wizard. And the other one is Disguise Self. And I chose Disguise Self because Kwalu is probably going to be doing a lot of his adventuring in Waterdeep and the mainland and things like that. And the people of Chult are very dark skinned, and he still likes to wear a lot of his tribe regalia and things like that. So he may stick out a little bit like a sore thumb when he's in the larger cities and things. And if he is hunting a particular wizard or tracking down someone, he may be found out. It'll be harder for him to blend in and get information. So he may use Disguise Self to try and deceive folks, because he's not very charismatic. He's got an 8 charisma. So hopefully by maybe altering his appearance slightly, then Kwalu will be able to when he's in larger cities or in foreign areas, he might be able to, like I said, blend in better and disguise himself to get information that he needs. Okay, so now we're going to advance Kwalu to a Wizard level 3. So this is a 4 hit die character. So we've got a level 3 Wizard. We get another 6 hit points. So that takes us to 28. We're now a 4 hit die. We have 3 d6. Other than spells, I believe that is it for Kwalu. So as far as this book here for the Mage Hunter, we won't visit this again until Wizard level 6, and then of course that's going to be at the end of the video when we are all done. So let's go ahead and take a look at our spells. Now for a 3rd level wizard, we still only have 3 cantrips, but now we have 4 first level spots. So 4 first level, and over here we have 2 second level. And of course, now that we are wizard level 3 plus our +3 intelligence, we can memorize 6 first and or second level spells from our spell book each day. Now as a wizard, we get to add 2 spells of any level we choose. I feel like we have enough first level spells, so let's add a couple second level spells. And the very first one, again, Kwalu is all about sneaking up and being stealthy and maybe getting that, you know, that advantage where he can huck a dagger at somebody, maybe get some sneak attack damage on there. So I am going to choose Invisibility as my first second level spell, and that's pretty much self-efficient. Invisibility will allow Kwalu to move about and maybe do a stealth roll to make sure that he's moving about quietly and be able to accomplish a myriad of different things that way. And honestly, I've got to go right with it. Why not add C Invisibility as his second level spell? Because wizards do like to turn invisible to get away or things like that. Maybe, you know, down the road they encounter some hags or something, but being able to see invisible as well as being invisible should be very important. So those are the 2 second level spells that I chose that should help Kwalu in his mage hunting. And now we're finally going to have Kwalu become a level 4 wizard. And multiclassing kind of puts characters back just a little bit, because being a rogue 1 wizard 4, that's a 5 hit die creature. But if we were to just go with 1 class, we would have gotten our ability score improvement already, which most classes will get at level 4 if they don't multiclass. So I feel like we're kind of just a turn behind, but I just can't pass up that rogue level 1 for the flavor of the character and that sweet sneak attack damage on a wizard that actually wants to be throwing daggers. And so there we go, wizard level 4. And with 4th level, our proficiency bonus is still a +2, but we will get an extra cantrip. So looking at extra cantrips, I've decided that adding to his repertoire, I want to add message, and I think message would be really good. It's something that maybe we should have had at the 1st level. Maybe instead of light or minor illusion, we should have picked message, something that Kwalu could use with his fellow tribe members, and as he becomes accustomed to an adventuring party and makes new friends, just something that he can use tactical wise, because Kwalu in my mind is going to have a very tactical mind, and I believe message would help him tremendously with things like that. So cantrip is going to be message. Now we get an extra spell slot for 2nd level, so that moves up to 3, and now we are able to memorize 7 spells every day, and we get to add 2 more 2nd level spells. And for our 2nd level spells, the first one I think of right off the bat is Misty Step. And Misty Step is just a favorite of mine. It can get a spellcaster out of a sticky situation or get them out of danger. It removes them from combat without provoking an attack of opportunity, things like that. It's just maybe helps them scale a wall or something like that. Just one of my favorites. I love Misty Step. But the second level spell that I'm going to add is Blindness, Deafness. Okay, and the reason I chose Blindness, Deafness, and this is where you're going to see the idea of this character just start to synergize a little bit. If Kwalu casts Blindness on a creature and they fail their Constitution saving throw, they can't see, and they get I think they get to redo a save on their turn, every turn, or whatever else. But if you look in Appendix A in Player's Handbook's conditions, a blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Okay, no big deal. But the second one, attack rolls against the creature that are blind have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. Well, where does this come in handy at? Well, we are a rogue level 1 with sneak attack. What does sneak attack need? It needs for us to have advantage. So if we cast blindness and it works on our target, and then the next turn we can go in as long as they're still blind, and we've got advantage on our attack roll, and so we get to roll our extra d6 of sneak attack damage. So kind of starting to come together synergy wise, and those will probably be the second level spells that I would choose for Kwalu. Now those are just the spells we get as a 4th level wizard. Let's go ahead and update the rest. So we get 6 more hit points. So now Kwalu's hit points are now at 34. That makes him a 5 hit die character, and his wizard hit die now set at 4d6. And one of the cool things we get is our ability score improvement. So a 4th level wizard can increase a score by 2. And I'm looking at you over there, Dexterity. So we're going to take our Dex to 16. Sounds a little crazy doing this and not putting our intelligence at 18, I know, for a wizard. But, you know, I'm having some fun with this, so bear with me a little bit. So now we have a 16 Dex, which gives us a +3, which changes a few of these other things. Our saves versus Dex is +5. Our acrobatics is now a +7. And let's see here, sleight of hand is a +5. Our stealth is a +7. And that increases our attack bonus on dagger number 1 by +5, because it's a finesse weapon. We can use dexterity. D4 +3. +5 here, and nothing there, and also our initiative goes to +3. So using my ability score improvement, thinking a little bit different outside the box, instead of going up to an 18 intelligence, I chose to go with Dex. If I were to take this character to level 8, I would level 8 wizard, I would probably either choose a feat, or I would probably +2 his intelligence at that time. But that's the way I decided to do that, and I believe that does it for us for a 4th level wizard. So just 2 levels left, so let's move on to Wizard 5. Okay, so we had advanced another level, and we are now a Rogue level 1, Wizard level 5. So that gives us another 6 hit points. That takes us to 40. That is now a 5d6 as far as our wizard hit die, and that gives us 6 total. And our proficiency bonus has finally gone up, so let's do those adjustments. We've got a +3 proficiency over here, and then all of these advance by 1, so our Dex saving throws and intelligence saving throws are now +6. Acrobatics, check this out. Now let's see here, our Dex bonus is 3, proficiency bonus is 3, but we get a double that for the acrobatics, so 3 and 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9. So our acrobatics is a +9, and we'll go ahead and move our stealth to +9 too. And again, if you remember, this is because we chose a level 1 rogue, and stealth and acrobatics, we get a double our proficiency bonus on that. So now that's a +3, it's an automatic +6 on those, plus our dex that we increased last level is another +3, so +9 on acrobatics and stealth. That is kick ass. I love it. Alright, so Let's go ahead and bump up the rest of our skills. Let's see, so +6 on Arcana, +4 Athletics, +6 Investigation, +3 on Perception, +6 on Sleight of Hand, and +3 on Survival. So Kwalu is very well rounded, and I am really liking this character. So that'll do it on those, but we do get to pick some spells, and we finally have some 3rd level spells, so I'm pretty excited about that. We can memorize 8 spells every day, and we have 2 3rd level slots. And my first 3rd level slot, we're going with Fireball because Kwalu needs some offense. And what better offense to give a wizard than Fireball? You can't beat that. Now it's a shame I only get 2 here. I feel like I need to take Fireball because I really didn't take very many offensive 2nd level spells, and getting to be a 6 hit die character where Kwalu is now, he's going to need to start getting some powerful arcane magic as far as he needs some offense. So I feel Fireball is a must. There are 2 3rd level spells. One of them I think is an absolute must to fight other arcane spellcasters, and it is a toss-up, but I feel like I got to put it in there, and that is Counterspell. If you're gonna fight other wizards and arcane magic users, you've got to be able to counter their magics. It's a reaction, and in a duel between 2 spellcasters, it is an absolute necessity. And when we advance up to the next level, I'll show you the other spell that I was thinking that really fits Kwalu, and I'm excited. We're going 1 more level. Here we go. I know it's been a long video, but we're just about done taking this character to where I want to take him. So let's advance him to a Wizard 6. Alright my friends, we're about ready to finish off Kwalu, our human Chult Mage Hunter, and I'm super excited for this character. We're going to take him up to Wizard level 6. And Wizard level 6 means that we're going to dig back into Xanathar's lost notes to everything else for his next ability. But let's finish out the Wizard portion first. So Wizard level 6, that's going to take his hit points to 46. He'll now be a 7 hit die character. He now has 6d6 hit dice for Wizards, still the 1d8 for the Rogue. And I believe that is simple and sweet for that portion. So let's go ahead and get that 3rd level spell. Now, per the Wizard player's handbook, every time we go up a level, we get to add 2 spells of any level. Kwalu now has 3 spell slots for 3rd level, and he can now memorize 9 spells. And here's the spell that I was thinking of taking over either Fireball or Counterspell, but it just didn't make enough sense, and that is Haste. And you know, Kwalu's going to be throwing daggers and stuff like that, and having Haste, it just seems like a natural fit for him. So I'm very excited to get it here. So we're going to put Haste in there. So with Haste being a shoe-in, I kind of went back and forth with another 3rd level spell that I wanted to add to Kwalu's spellbook. And I went back to just the theme of him hunting other mages and being able to combat other magic. And with that, I think I have to go Detect Magic. Being able to dispel things that other wizards have casted and things of that nature, I think are going to be important. And probably if I have a DM that is running that and giving things for Kwalu to go up against, this may become relevant. So Haste and Detect Magic, I think those are 2 pretty good adds for Kwalu. So we've got some offense, we've got a reaction, a couple things that go up against spellcasters, and we've got Haste. I totally love our spell list. And again, this guy looks like a ton of fun. Alright my friends, we are going to get into the reason that I picked the Mage Hunter, and that is within Xanathar's lost notes to everything else. And I am going to go to Wizard, and under Wizard we have a Mage Hunter, and for a level 6 wizard, which we are now, we have an ability called Hunter's Armament. Okay, so what Hunter's Armament is, as a mage hunter, we are now at the level where we can create a magical bond with our weapon that we use for hunting other spellcasters. Now, when I originally thought of this character, I was thinking how cool would it be to use the Chultan weapon of the Yikawa, the spear. But then I decided, after looking at things, it's just like, I need to figure out how to break this a little bit more, because the Yikawa, which is really cool and flavorful for the Chultan people, but I wanted something that was going to be absolutely mind-blowing. So here's what I did, and this is why I have chosen daggers. Okay, so Hunter's Armament, you form a magical bond with a weapon. So Kwalu, one of his daggers, he's going to form a magical bond with it. Now, as long as he's bonded with this dagger, he cannot be disarmed of it unless he's incapacitated. So, unless he's knocked out or whatever else, no critical fail, nothing is going to knock this dagger out of his hand. And here, folks, is why I absolutely love the Mage Hunter. If they are on the same plane of existence, meaning Kwalu, the character, and his bonded dagger, if they're on the same plane of existence, you can summon your weapon as a bonus action on your turn to teleport instantly to your hand. So think about it. This character, who started off as a level 1 rogue, so he could throw his dagger to get that 1d6 of extra sneak attack damage, now as a level 1 rogue, level 6 wizard, if he throws that dagger at a target and hits or whatever else, maybe gets the sneak attack damage, on his next turn as a bonus action, that weapon teleports back to his hand. That is fantastic, and that is awesome. But we're not done. Hunter's Armament also allows us, let's say we did go with the Yikawa instead of throwing our daggers, or we're using our dagger, we can use our spellcasting ability instead of strength for attack and damage rolls of melee attacks using our weapon. So like if we didn't have such a high dex, if we're using if we are bonded to our Yikawa, instead of using our 12 strength, we could use our 16 intelligence. So that's really cool. It doesn't really help as much with the character that I've built, but if he decides to bond to the Yikawa or whatever else, then we can do that and switch the strength and intelligence. Also under Hunter's Armament, the weapon becomes magical if it's not already. So our bonded weapon is now magical. It doesn't get a plus bonus until you hit level 10, and then it gets a +1 bonus, and at level 14 it gets a +2 bonus. I dig it. I love it. Hunter's Armament, throwing a dagger, hitting a target, and having it teleport back to your hand, combining that with spells and abilities that allow us to sneak up on our target, to spy on them, to blind them to get advantage. I just feel like with Kwalu, this entire idea that I had is just coming to life. And again, where'd that book go? This book is awesome. This is from Xanathar's Lost Notes to Everything Else. So that is Kwalu, and he is a 7 hit die creature or character, Rogue 1, Wizard 6, and I would have a ton of fun playing this guy. Before we go, let's look at 2 more abilities at higher levels. We're not going to advance Kwalu anymore tonight, but I'll read off these other 2 abilities and then we'll get out of here. Here we go. Okay, our first one up there is Arcane Sanctum. At 10th level, you learn the Magic Circle spell. You always have it prepared, and it doesn't count towards your total number of prepared spells for the day. You can use an action to cast Magic Circle instantly and at a range of self without expending a spell slot. Additionally, when you hit a creature affected by Counterweave, which is one of our abilities we discussed earlier, you can instead use your bonus action to cast a spell in the same manner centered on your target. Once you use Magic Circle using this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a short or long rest, though you can still cast it normally using an available spell slot. Bam. Very nice. So we get Magic Circle, Arcane Sanctum. And at a 14th level, Eyes of the Master. At 14th level, you are constantly on the lookout to distinguish the magical from the mundane. Your intelligence, Arcana, skill proficiency is doubled with checks made to identify persistent magic, magical items, or the presence of magical and otherworldly creatures. Just as a 7 hit die character, we have a +6 of Arcana, and that's with the +3 modifier. So by 14th level, what is that? That is a +5, so that would be a +10. Oh my goodness, we get like a +13. I can't even do the maths right now. But like a +13 to Arcana checks on this. That is fantastic. So I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Those are some really cool abilities. We've got, for the Mage Hunter, we've got Arcanist Investigator, we have Counterweave, Hunter's Armament, Arcane Sanctum, and Eyes of the Master. Such a fun wizard to play. So that's going to do it for me today. This was an extremely long video, and I apologize, but there's so much I want to cram into explaining this character and the thoughts and ideas that I had going into this, and I hope you enjoyed it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all of the PDFs for levels 1 through 7 that we did today. I'm going to post them on my website, wallydm.com. The links are going to be in the description below. So if you would like to take a look at the PDFs that we created today, those will be at your disposal. And if you want to just print them out and use this character in a one-shot that you have coming up or in a campaign that you are joining, feel free to do so. Go check out Kwalu, download him off the site, and play him, because he seems like he's just going to be just a ton of fun. With that being said, knowing everything that I've wanted to do, are there different spell selections or abilities that you would have chosen for a Mage Hunter? If there are, be sure to comment below and let me know. And I really want to know what you think of this character and videos like this. If you want to see more character creation videos, and so that's all I have for you today. That is Kwalu. Again, he is a human from the island of Chult, and he is a Mage Hunter. Well, he's mostly a Mage Hunter. He's also a level 1 rogue, so we could throw some sneaky stuff in there. But what do you think of this character? Does this seem like a lot of fun to play? And as far as spell selections and maybe some of the abilities, are there a few things that you would do differently? Make sure you comment below to let me know. And also, the PDFs for all of the levels that we discussed here tonight, I'm going to post them on my website, wallydm.com. So it'll be level 1 through 7. If you want to open them up and look at them or print them out to use in a game, you're more than welcome to do so. Just click the links below. Don't forget to join our Discord server. We get a lot of great conversations going on over there. But commenting on this video really helps the channel, so if you could do that, I would appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends, like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and on to the next.